My name is Larry Richardson, and I'm the President and CEO of the YMCA of York and York County and President of Y Community Development Corporation. I apologize for the timing of this event, only because for those of you, I may be the only one in the room, but I'm a diehard Pirates fan. And the game was, the fourth game was, it was going on. It's the bottom of the ninth when I'm walking across the street here, and it's 2-1. And I did check on Gamecast, and the Pirates did lose 2-1, so it is going to Game 5. So we did really, the Major League Baseball and the ribbon cutting team did not really sync their schedules, so I apologize for that. But thank you for coming. We're going to try to be conscious of your time, and we want to do some introductions and just talk a little bit and introduce some people to you and talk about the project, and then allow you to go out and either talk with the partners and people who have been involved, or to go out and view just the wonderful setting here and the wonderful project, both on the commercial and the residential side. So first off, we want to make just a couple introductions for those who are here. And so just bear with me. First, and you're going to hear from some of these people, but Mayor Kim Bracey. Thank you, Kim. I think the board chair of the YMCA, Fred Callahan, I did not see him here. Sean O'Hagan from Enterprise. We're going to hear from Sean. Thank you. Key partner, obviously. Angie Wernicke from Housing Development Corporation, one of our very strong partners, and a lot of their staff, and we thank them. They've just done a fantastic job, and we knew they would, and managing the housing and leasing up, and so we're excited for the long-term partnership there. Joe Crosswhite, the president of M&T Bank, and you'll hear from Joe in a few moments, and Gail D'Angelo from M&T Bank is also here, Gail, and John Magnan from M&T Bank, so thank you. A very strong partner of ours, and all the partners are listed up here on the on this board, and many, you're going to hear from many of them here in a few moments. Dave Urim, President and CEO of Pearl, our key partner on the project, Dave, and you'll hear from Ron Lloyd from RDL Architects. I think Ron is here somewhere. Oh, Ron, thank you. I didn't see Representative Keith Gillespie. Did Keith come in? I'm not sure. Representative Kevin Shriver's here, I think. Kevin, thank you. We just saw him in another meeting, so thank you. Joel Snyder from RGS Associates. I saw Joel. That was key. We scheduled this based on the Better York board meeting, so many of you people could come over. Senator Mike Walls, Representative Brenda Arnold. Is Brenda here? Not sure. Okay. Senator Toomey's representative Frank Matza. Is Frank here? Maybe they're still on their way. Also want to just introduce Bob Bossert from the Brocker Foundation. Bob's in the back here, great supporter of the Y and the community. Bob Woods, the Executive Director of the United Way. Bob was key, he was at the last meeting too. And Carol Hill Evans, President of City Council. Carol, saw you crossing the street. I almost hit you because I was watching Gamecast on my phone. But I did see you going. You were obeying the walk and no walk sign, so that was probably a good thing by you. No, I was stopped. I was stopped. I wasn't texting either. I was just watching. Felicia Dell, the director of the York County Planning Commission, is here. Felicia, thank you. And just quickly, also want to introduce Holly Glosser from PHFA. Holly's here. Thank you for coming down. And it's a real privilege also to introduce the Nah family. Here in the middle, they will be running the store on the corner, so make sure you get to know them, and we're excited that they are here. Former tenants of the property here, and now moving into the new store. Also, just quickly introduce some of the Y Community Development Corporation board members. Jessica Fieldhouse is here. Jess. Rob Fry, the chair of the board, YCDC board, and so we know. I know who you are, but nobody else does. Scott Weaver from the YCDC board and People's Bank. And I want to introduce Angela Weiner from the YMCA Board of Directors. So I think Patricia is here also from the YCDC Board. So if I miss anybody, probably have, and I apologize. Craig Wolf from the YCDC Board, back here in the back. So, okay, that's enough for the introduction, so we're going to get into the remarks. Y Community Development Corporation is very excited to be a part of this project. You know, our mission started in the late 90s, really to take a look at blight and those issues that help to cause blight in our community, working with partners and facilitate the removal of those things. And we've been very excited. On Friday night, we had a nice light up North Newbury Street, right in the block of the YMCA. The mayor and Kevin and many others were there. And today we want to take time to celebrate this tremendous project and have some remarks from some of the partners. So, Kim, Mayor Bracey, please.
Good evening, all. Good evening. Thank you you for having us here, Larry. We are honored to be part of this celebration, the completion of George Street Commons, a townhome development right here in the heart of downtown York. You've mentioned a lot of the key partners already, but I just want to highlight again how this project came to us in the city of York. When Kevin was our Economic and Community Development Director, it landed on my desk. We met the folks from Pearl and you guys, and here we have this new housing development project that we're excited about it being in downtown York. Some would say it took a long time. I wouldn't say that. I personally know it was on schedule, on budget, and it made it over a number of hurdles to allow us to have this ribbon cutting today. So the partnership of the city, the York Community Development Corporation of the York YMCA is not new. It's something we've had a long-standing relationship with Historic Fairmont over in the west end of the city through Salem Square. So now we partnered those two entities and Pearl, and we have this. It epitomizes public-private partnerships at its best and what can be done when we're all working together to provide housing, number one, for working families in our communities, folks who are really trying to just have a good place to live. So George Street Commons gives working families the ability to live, work, and play right here in an urban environment, and we're happy to be a part of it. Thank you so much for making this project happen, all the partners, and congratulations.
Thank you, Kim and the city, and thank you, Kevin, for your former help and current help. And we lamented Friday night. We're not really happy that he's not here and that he won the election, so we keep telling him that. I missed one board member. Kevin Alvarez, I think, is here also from the YMCA Board, a Director of Community Health from WellSpan. So now we want to hear some remarks from David Urim, Principal and President and CEO of Pearl. David.
Thanks, Larry. I'm Dave Urim, Principal of Pearl. We are a co-developer and a project manager of this wonderful development that you see in front of you. We're also the builder and a co-owner along with Larry and YCDC. So we are really shoulder to shoulder with these guys, and it's been a very interesting and tough experience at times, but a wonderful experience, and we're so happy to be here in front of you today. The team has really accomplished a lot on this this tiny site, this 1.3 acre, actually I was reminded today, it's a 1.25 acre site. And this $8 million effort that you see in front of you is actually two separate real estate developments taking place at the same time. They're related to each other, but they really are two totally separate financing structures. The first effort is a residential effort, as you can well see, and the second one is a commercially focused effort. The first piece is a 28-unit townhome development geared toward working families in the city of York. Most of the units are geared toward larger families, families with children. We have found in looking at the city of York the tremendous need, over 10,000 households of working families in this primary market area alone that would qualify for housing like this. Tremendous need. Most of the units in the market are actually 1 and 2 bedrooms. So as we sat down with Kevin Schreiber and David Cross and Mayor Bracey and Larry Richardson and so many others to try to conceive of what we could do here, this really became sort of a focus. How do you serve working families and not just provide sort of housing that is already so common in the market? What's unique about this development, not only do we have sort of the 28 townhomes, but this development is geared toward an environmentally sound concept, sustainable development. These are geothermal powered townhomes. So instead of your traditional gas-fired forced air heating and cooling systems, we've drilled 40-foot wells under each of these townhomes, and we are pumping coolant through the units. And the essence of it is that it's much less expensive to heat and cool the units. That's going to keep energy costs down. That allows us to keep the rents more affordable. That allows us actually to do a development like this without carrying any hard debt, which again ensures its viability for the long term. So in addition to the geothermal wells, we have also exceeded, to give you a little bit of jargon, the 2009 International Energy Code on these units by 10%. That combination of geothermal heating and cooling and sort of this energy envelope allows us really, again, to probably save 50% of our typical utility costs as we stabilize the property. In addition to the units, you have the 1,700-foot clubhouse, and that's sort of phase one, if you will. Phase two, the commercial portion, is in essence a 2,000 square foot commercial space. The Green Grocer, run by the Na family, who's joined us here today, was actually on site prior to. We had a mostly vacant site except for the Na family. What we've been able to do, and they've been incredibly patient with us and creative and thoughtful to try to figure out how we could make this development work. The goal here, and this is in partnership with the Food Trust out of Philadelphia, is to help them improve their business, to bring in a point of service sale system, a technology tracking system to allow them to track their inventory a little bit differently, to help them upgrade their equipment, to help to reduce their rent and stabilize the rent that they will pay over the next 15 years. And in so doing, they've been open and willing to work with us to change their business plan a little bit and offer some fresh and healthy food options for this part of the city of York. And as we know, it's tough. York is similar to many cities across the country. In this environment, there isn't a lot of space for big modern grocery stores to operate. So a lot of the residents in this part of town just don't have access to fresh and healthy food in the same way. So working with the Na family and the Green Grocer and some of our funding partners, we've been able to incorporate this as a piece of the development. One very important concept here, and this really speaks to the consistent and strong leadership that the city of York has had really over the last 15, even 20 years, is the fact that this development, in part, leverages over $280 million of public-private investment in this part of town. PHFA looks for that. That's an indicator of strength of leadership and of focus in redevelopment. And they want to make sure, PHFA does, that this kind of investment is worthy to communities that have that sort of consistent focus. It's a really important point because in this era of sort of reduced funding sources, a small development like this that maybe just breaks the surface of the workforce housing need in York, this $8 million effort takes an incredible number of partners to make happen. And we heard Mayor Bracey talk about it, this public-private partnership concept. Let me just go through a quick list of some of our funding partners, and it's really an unbelievable group of people that need to come together at exactly the right time in exactly the right way to make something like this happen. The city of York not only provided moral support through the process, political support, but financial support as well, which is always nice. $750,000 came in from the city of York to help this development. We would not have moved forward without that. The Federal Home Loan Bank of New York has come to the table. The commercial portion of the development is funded by the Department of Community and Economic Development, who gave us a $300,000 0% loan, which obviously helps make something like that go. Enterprise, along with their investor, M&T Bank, and I know Sean's going to talk a little more about that, bought the tax credits, and through the sale of the tax credits through Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, we were able to pay for 83% of the cost of this deal. So 83% of what you see here was paid for through the sale of these tax credits. That's about $6.3 million, and really none of us would be standing here if it wasn't for them. So thank you to PHFA and to all of our partners involved, Pearl Contractors, who slugs through the mud and the rain without a lot of credit along the way. So we want to recognize those guys. Mike Pisanelli, Mike Brooks, and Ron Duplain standing at the back of the room. Larry, it's been a pleasure to partner with you, and we look forward to many more. Thanks.
To say Dave and his team from Pearl, from Cleveland, is the first, as a diehard Steeler fan, first Browns fans I ever really liked. So it'll probably be the last. So, but that's okay. So David mentioned some of the other partners, and we want to take a moment now to hear from Sean O'Hagan from the Enterprise Foundation. Sean?
Hi, good evening, everybody. How you doing? Hi, so my name is Sean O'Hagan, and I work at Enterprise Community Investment, where we partner with organizations across the United States to help finance and create affordable housing communities, much like this one here at George Street Commons. So just to share a little bit of perspective that we bring as the investor, and we focus on a lot of technical and kind of financial and organizational structure type of things, but really fundamentally at Enterprise, we're very strongly aligned with our mission in focusing on how affordable housing projects are really positioned not just to provide affordable housing, but to make sure that we're accomplishing other objectives as well. And so over the years, we've really come to understand that our best investments emphasize three characteristics. And as a couple years ago, I remember the first time we were talking with Dave at Pearl in their offices in Ohio, and it might have been thinking about the Browns a little bit too, although a couple years ago it wouldn't have been very happily thinking about the Browns. But these three characteristics we saw, I think, pretty clearly were things that Larry and the guys at Pearl were really focused on and were immediately attractive to us. So first, we really believe that projects should be positioned to offer affordable housing in a way that enables families to use their home as a platform to realize success in other areas of their life. And we can really see that here at George Street Commons, right? Just in terms of where the project's located, it's a great location. You've got tremendous access to public transportation, to shopping, to services, to employment. So the project's located very well. There's on-site services through YCDC and YMCA, and also through them linkages to other organizations and members in the community, which is great. And then uniquely, the healthy food greengrocer concept right next door, which is just real exciting. And I'm sure that we'll all, look forward to seeing that business be successful in the coming years. So second, and David talked about this and gave us some of the technical jargon, but projects should be energy efficient, they should be comfortable, they should be well designed. And we see that here. The geothermal is really, really exciting. In addition to investing in the low-income housing tax credits, we also invested in renewable energy credits that the geothermal generated as well, which is really great. And then third, the other thing that really fundamentally is the most important thing for us at Enterprise is having strong partnerships with really good partners. And this is our first project with YCDC and with Pearl. We hope there will be more in the future. But really, at the end of the day, having very strong partners that are involved in all the good decisions up front, but that are also there to be resources through the project's life and to be here to be champions to make sure that, with the rest of the community, that this project is really being successful for the families it serves is really great. So we're very proud to be here today to say congratulations to the development team, say thank you for all the funders, particularly PHFA and the City of York, and to be here with you. We're very excited about this project. And I'd also say that finally we'd also at Enterprise very much so like to extend our gratitude to M&T Bank. We've had a very long and successful relationship with M&T Bank. They're a very valued partner of ours in a number of ways, and we're very glad that they could be here with us tonight and that they could partner with us on this project to help invest the capital in the deal. So thanks very much and congratulations.
Thank you, Sean. As Sean had mentioned, the key partnerships with M&T Bank in two areas. One is with the partnership with Enterprise, and also as a sponsor bank for the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York and the Affordable Housing Program. So with that, I want to introduce Joe Crosslight, Regional President of M&T Bank. Joe?
Thanks, Larry. It's a pleasure to be here. What is this room? Is this the Commons, or what will this use? The community room? All right. Is this the first activity in this room? Have you used it?
As far as we know.
At least this is the first sanctioned activity in the community room. Well, that's good. Well, it's a marvelous space. It's a beautiful facility, and I'm sure as we get to tour in the next few minutes, because believe me, I'm not going to be up here very long, it's really going to be a remarkable transformation for those of you who live in the community or see this space. And thank you very much for the Na family for continuing to invest and be a part of this in the commercial side, because after, I don't know, 15, 20 years, maybe longer, of seeing most of this 1.25 acres sit as a flat piece of concrete in the middle of the downtown, it gets to be frustrating at times to see what the potential can be, and you kind of think about it from time to time and you go on to the other parts of your day. But to have seen this transform literally over the last 12 months with some of the dirt and the mud and the brick and the construction and the footings, and I guess the geothermal we'll never see, and to see the end product, which are these wonderful places for people to live and really bring the true meaning of affordable, decent, and safe housing for many of us in the York community, is truly a remarkable feat. And much of the credit clearly goes to Larry and his crew at YCDC, because Larry is almost, well, I wouldn't say almost, he is evangelical about looking for those types of things that are going to help us in the community. And part of that just goes with the notion that we have to have a decent place to live, a safe place to raise our children, and from that foundation we can really kind of move on and take care of the other things that are important to us. And certainly Mayor Bracey and the council, the legislative delegation, all of you have worked very hard to make this a possibility, and I'm very grateful for that. I won't recount or repeat what some of the other speakers have said today, but just to say that it's our privilege as a commercial bank to be in the league with Enterprise, with Pearl, with HDC, with PHFA, and the other parties that have brought all of this together. So it's really just a privilege to sometimes be able to come to the forefront. We have an obligation to reinvest in our communities throughout our banking area. And many times the best thing we can do once we make that investment is just get out of the way and let the people who know what they're doing get the job done. And believe me, from the looks of it today, you have clearly gotten the job done. John Mangan, Gail D'Angelo, thank you, because you're the two really inside our company who kind of pay attention to what we need to do on the technical side. And I get to come up here and say thank you and eat free food, and you know, it's hard work, but nevertheless, it's a pleasure. This really is a good turning point, and I just can't tell you how delighted I am to see the end product here. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing many other activities here in the community room, good tales of what this engenders for us with the Green Grocer and for new families and residents in this part of the city. And we just hope that this will continue with future projects around and continued reinvestment. So thank all of you very much, and let's have a round of applause for Larry and all the crew.
Yeah, nice. Appreciate your comments, Joe. The one thing probably is in error is that the food isn't free. It's you probably have paid for the food some way in part of one of your investments, so we'll make sure you are first in line. Now, that'll be key. Yeah, I think as we talked about the many partners that are here, I think one of the key things is we have to recognize that this is the beginning. We feel like it's the end, we're going to cut the ribbon and we're all going to go about, but this is really the beginning. These partnerships are long-term. We all know that, and it's really comforting for us to have co-developers with Pearl and partners that we know we can count on with the city and with Enterprise and with M&T and all the other people that are involved. At PHFA, we've been involved with PHFA now, our association, since 1998, and it's just been tremendous. And I just cannot thank them enough for the belief that they put into a project and trust that they put into people to make sure, or organizations that make sure they make it happen. And we're going to stage the ribbon cutting right outside here in just a moment, but I also want to thank, just a big shout out, HDC has a big crew back here. If you could just wave your hands to them. They're going to be out, and their staff will be helping to tour some of the units out here, but they have just done a yeoman's job, and we decided we really didn't have the skill set nor the interest to be able to do lease up and housing management on this scale on the front end. We really only talked with one group, and that was HDC, and we have had relationships with them in the past, and they've performed at an admirable, just at a very high level, been great partners, been great critique of what we could do better, and that's been appreciated, and we're looking forward to working with them in the long term. So they will be out doing tours. There'll be food in here after the staging of the ribbon cutting, and Melissa Gross, our administrative assistant is Melissa. She's already outside. I want to thank her for, her and Connie Lindeman from Pearl got this all together. And we were going with no matter what the weather was going to be like today. So I'm going to shut up because it's starting to get dark. We're going to stage a ribbon cutting, see the sights outside, and make sure you come back in for something to eat. But thank you everybody for being here. We'll ribbon cut, eat, and tour. Thank you.